Hello, everyone. It's Daunter. Daunter, the channel, by the way, is a YouTube channel. Fun fact, guys, I don't know if you knew that, but the Daunter Collects YouTube channel is a YouTube channel where I provide artist reviews, kind of stuff about Pokemon cards in general, news, updates, and my opinions. And I think my last video that I uploaded was definitely more of an opinion video, but it actually ended up being one of my favorite videos that I produced for the channel. And there's a couple reasons for this. First of all, I'm happy with the way I edited it. I'm glad I added the blur. It was really satisfying, and I really like playing the game in the background, so it's really nice to just kind of like place that over the background footage and make sure it's not obstructive to the viewer. So I love doing that. And also, it's just great getting my opinions out there. Like, I feel so nice to just like have comments to respond to, regardless of how you feel. Like who the individual person feels about like whether you agree or whether you disagree. I just enjoy replying regardless, even if you disagree. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about the Mega Pokemon. These cards are going to come out in a couple months, so we don't have to worry about this for another like 4 months, 6 months. But I kind of want to just talk about like the Mega era, for those who are either confused or what it really, like in this video, would be the kind of goal to show you what the Mega era really needs to succeed, my personal opinion. And for those who don't know, Mega Pokemon are enhanced versions of regular Pokemon. I'm sure most people know what a Mega Pokemon is now, but they're just like crazy versions of regular Pokemon, cooler designs, interesting ideas, stuff like that. For example, let's put up Mega Lucario on the screen. Obviously, it doesn't look just like regular Lucario. It's got some enhanced features to it. And let's throw up the brand new Mega Lucario EX that we see for whatever the set is going to be later down the line. So this card looks pretty cool, I would say, for a regular EX. I like the gold text. I think the gold text with like the black EX with the gold outline looks pretty nice. But there's a couple things that I have to say about this. So first of all, when we did first see Mega Pokemon in the TCG back in the X and Y era around 2014, 2015, which is ridiculous, 10 years ago, the Mega Pokemon looked a lot different, right? The borders of the cards were completely black, so that's completely different now. We have the gray borders, which I prefer the black ones, but the gray ones, it's not that big of a difference. Obviously, the main thing that you're going to see from this Mega Lucario from Furious Fists is that there's big, bold, very interestingly styled Japanese text all across the card. And now this is pretty much just the Pokemon's attack, but in Japanese. So it's pretty much just Rising Fist, but in Japanese. The cool thing about these cards is that in the Japanese sets, they got the English text on their cards. That was just really interesting to me. I thought that was very fascinating. And it also just made the cards just look way cooler. So first of all, we don't have those on these cards. So that sucks. And this leads into kind of what I wanted to talk about for another video that I just never really got to doing, because it just didn't really work out as its own video. But I'm going to be talking about the full arts from the Scarlet and Violet era, and kind of compare them to the full arts from the X and Y era. So the full arts from the Scarlet and Violet era are abysmal, in my personal opinion. I don't think that's the most unpopular opinion. And obviously, if you like full arts, you're gonna like the cards regardless, like whether you like, whether you're like whether or not you think that, they're good or not. Like, I think like if you love them, then you're gonna love the full arts regardless, right? But why do I think the Scarlet and Violet full arts look bad? Well, first of all, I think usually they don't really like put the Pokemon in a super creative position. And while I will say, like a card like the Charizard EX full art from 151 is in a pretty cool pose, there's one thing that's really holding back the full art Pokemon. Actually, there's two things that are really holding back the full art Pokemon. First are and this is crazy to say, but it's the outlines of the cards. Now, I don't know if you'll see, but even if I pull up this full art Charizard EX, it's got a teal border around it. Now, that teal border literally is the difference between making a card look good and making a card look absolutely horrific. Now, let's just take a side-by-side here. Let's take, I don't know, like, let's just say Charizard EX versus Charizard EX. Let's look at, the Charizard EX. let's just look at the Charizard EX from our brand new set, which is going to be 151. Obviously not brand new, but the card is cool, right? You have the Pokemon in an interesting pose with that fire on its tail, and then you have like the teal, extremely thick teal outline around the card. Now, this makes the card look pretty tacky, honestly. I think that it creates a decent contrast, especially for this full art, since it's blue on red, so it's a little bit more interesting. I mean, blue on orange, but still, you kind of get my point. The outline is super thick, which kind of sucks. Like I said, it makes the card look really tacky. And the V's from the Sword and Shield era kind of had a similar problem, where their outline was just a thick white. This is in extreme contrast to what we would see in the X and Y era and the Black and White era, where the outlines for the actual Pokemon themselves were like this really nice yellow gold. Take the Charizard Full Art from Flashfire card. First of all, the pose is so much better. It's fantastic. It's really cool, dynamic, interesting. The background is like, obviously it's a background, so it doesn't look super different. Just a little bit more deep red, and that's just up to personal preference. But the outline is a thin, subtle gold line that goes around the whole Pokemon, not a super thick, ugly teal line. I mean, it's pretty much like 3 times the thickness of the line on the Flashfire Full Art, which in my opinion is pretty ridiculous. The outline should not be what is more important than the actual Pokemon itself. And this Charizard Full Art from Flashfire looks incredible. Obviously that gold outline does numbers to improve the actual illustration itself. And I think it just enhances it further, you know? It just makes it look nicer. So what's that other thing that I was talking about? What is that one other thing that would improve the full art so much? And that is so simple. It's the texture. So on modern full arts, for Scarlet and Violet especially, the texture on the full art EXs is really bad. It's so lackluster, you can hardly ever notice that there's even texture at all. The Japanese cards obviously do a lot better of a job at this, but even the Japanese cards don't compare to like old English full arts from the X and Y era, in the Black and White era. There was just so much more thought and care, so much love put into the texture on those cards, especially the trainers, but also the Pokemon as well. There was these incredible patterns, you know, take the Alakazam full art from Fates Collide. That card has a crazy texture pattern. It's a bunch of like diamonds going all across the card. It looks really good. You know, we would never see something like that for like a modern Scarlet and Violet full art. And even if we did, it's a very minimal effect. So that's really disappointing. I think that is something that this new era of the Pokemon TCG, the Mega era, really has to get right. If they don't get those full arts right, and all those full arts don't have gold or silver borders, man, it's gonna be disappointing. It's gonna really suck. Just because if they just look exactly the same as the like Sword and Shield and Scarlet and Violet full arts, I'm gonna be disappointed, because the full art Mega Pokemon are gonna look bad. I mean, they're not going to look like awful. I'm sure that somebody's favorite card is going to be a full art Mega Pokemon, but they're just not going to look as good as they did before. I mean, take the Mega Alakazam full art from Fates Collide. That card is absolutely stunning. The texture is immaculate on it. The gold outlines do nothing but help the actual Pokemon itself, especially where you have like the clothing. It really accentuates that kind of color that it has on it. You know, you have the giant Japanese text that we're not seeing on the regular EXs for the modern Scarlet and Violet era, that I think we really need to see on these full arts. It just makes the card look so much more dynamic. They always place them in such interesting positions. Obviously the texture is such a big deal too. On this scan from Amazon, yeah, no, it's weird, scan from Amazon, you can see the texture plainly. All the spoons have nice outlines, it all just looks so fantastic. And just the Lucario full art from Furious Fists is absolutely phenomenal. You can even see the texture on this Cerebi scan. You can see the texture blaring through the card. Like, especially on the right side with those like lines going through it. It's fascinating how much of a departure we have from that old style, the old care that's really put into those older cards. Now, I don't know how many people are excited for Mega Pokemon. I am seriously excited for Mega Pokemon, but they really can't fumble it. I really don't want to see those full arts look awful. I can't see a single full art where there's, you know, teal outlines and freaking bad poses for the Mega Pokemon. Like, they have to be good. Like, I don't know. I feel like it's such a small thing to ask. Just change the color of the outline from blue to gold or silver. And it's so much better that way. It's such an easy change. Just change the color value. It's not that hard.
Even Pokemon Pocket is a good example of this. I know that I was getting a little heated, but Pokemon Pocket has those nice gold outlines on the Pokemon, and I think those full arts look much better for it. It's really interesting that we see these like fantastic, cards for Pokemon Pocket, but it doesn't translate into the regular TCG, and I just find that very interesting because those full arts in Pokemon Pocket do look really good, especially compared to Scarlet and Violet full arts.
Anyways, that is my main complaint. And my main worry for the new Mega era of the Pokemon TCG. I'm super excited for it. I'm really excited to see what they do with it. All the different things they can do with it. But I am a little worried, right? I have my concerns. And I just really hope that they really give us an older, kind of unique style, kind of reminiscent of older sets. Like, I really hope that they go back to the drawing board on that kind of stuff. I really want to see them, reinvent the wheel. I want them to care about texture on full arts again, care about texture on all arts, like there were in the Sword and Shield era with those crazy texture patterns like we had on the Umbreon VMAX. Just that kind of stuff. I just really want to see that kind of reemerge. That's it. Those are my only wishes for the Mega era of the Pokemon TCG. And in 5-6 months' time, when those cards are revealed, I hope I'm right. I really do. Regardless, I'm a ranter now, apparently. I hope you guys have a great day, regardless. And I'll see you next time. Hope you guys have a great day again, and bye.